So my goal is to get to 1,000 followers on my fitness YouTube page in the next 90 days, growing by about 20 to 30 a month at the moment, without too much effort. So just documenting the process of how I'm going to do it. Essentially, what I'm going to do is 2 times per week, potentially only one, just depending. We'll see how it goes. If we get more results from two, we'll do two. So 2 times per week YouTube presentations. Generally, what it's going to take is 30 minutes of preparation, 30 minutes of then actually presenting per video. So that's roughly about 2 hours per week. The other side of it, I'm going to use Instagram Shorts, Instagram Reels, just to upload as my shorts as well. They seem to be doing pretty well. So what I'm basically going to do is, for today, just document this so I can turn it into an SOP for my business, and start to create our little media company on the back end. Using this prompt to help me work out what I'm actually going to present on and create the framework for my presentation. Then I'll take this and put it into Canva. So I want to create a YouTube presentation on getting jacked naturally. So this would just be theme or topic that you want to talk about. Just jam that in there. Then what I'm going to use is when I present, there's certain things that I weave into my presentations that make them really, really good. So for example, I want to use metaphors, analogies, and I want to give each section of my presentation themes so that it becomes sticky. Because when you give a metaphor or analogy, people are like, oh, that makes sense. I relate to that. So it makes the information more sticky. It holds attention better. Then also what you're going to do is, I also want to use a shape to name the system. So basically when you give a system or a presentation a name, it gives it a handle, which means you can take it away. So that's one thing that does make a video really, really sticky, but it also makes them think about it long after. Then the icing on the cake for this, and this is probably the number one ingredient, because I also want sections on bringing in story of how to get strong and jack naturally as well, with a potential case study. So if I take this, break down one of my clients, it's documenting my work, it's showing people how I get people strong and jacked, whether it's myself, one of my clients, something like that. Then I just asked a simple question: what do you need from me to create this framework and presentation? And then I'm just going to add this so that ChatGPT knows that who the audience is for as well. You can use customer profiles. We do have a lot of very, very detailed customer profile avatars, but once it starts to unpack this, I'll know exactly who I'm speaking to anyway, which is cool. So I'm just going to hit enter. It's going to come back with a heap of questions. Cool. So core topics. Yes, sick. Matt, so why I love ChatGPT, and I think this is where people get it wrong, is like they'll take this and like tell me what to do, when realistically it's like if you can use it to unpack your brain, get all the information out, especially if you're a really solid coach, um, it's going to help you unpack this, present it, all of this sort of stuff. So it's really simple after that part. What you do is you copy. So you copy this. Control C, plug it back in, and then the core topics. What aspects of training? So, progressive overload. I'm going to talk. So, I'm going to just chuck in my things here, and then I'm going to come back to this video. So, what I'm going to talk about. Cool. So, just about finished putting in all of the details for what I want. So, beautiful thing about this is it's really, really good to unpack what you want to go through. So, gave me the question: what aspects of your training would you like covered? So for me, I'm just going to talk about why compound lifts set you up as a natural lifter, frequency versus volume, training the 3 muscle contraction types. Training like someone on steroids is a surefire way to get shit results. Set the right goals. So that's given me a lot of topics there to talk about. To be honest, probably be 5 videos, but we'll see how we go. Like this is an experiment at this point. Once I sort of get more data on what's working, like I can see from my view so far, probably one topic is going to be good, but this will be a bit of a masterclass. So we'll see how we go anyway. Talked a bit about nutrition, some recovery stuff. I'm not going to put too much emphasis on the nutrition and recovery because or else this will go for 3 hours. But it's quite good. So other cool things here is about the storytelling elements that I want to add in this. So I'm just going to talk about how I went from basically breaking myself to learning a minimum effective dose sort of strategy. Talking about how strong is strong. If you build it the right way, it doesn't go away. So here's now where those story elements are going to help people be like, okay, cool, that makes sense. There's proof here. I can see how this fits in with what I do. Okay, so when you're looking at any sort of branding, storytelling, or presentation, those are the elements that really make it stick. So the case study, I'm just going to talk about some of my results in this one. So training for 4 years without getting injured. When I'm like 38 now, got sixth in the world at weightlifting masters world champs, got up to 102 kilos, got a bit fat, probably talk about that as well. Now I'm doing jiu-jitsu, faster and stronger than ever, that sort of thing. So then it asked me what sort of shape or what sort of theme or how am I going to package this up. So it gave me a few different ideas in regards to different ways I can talk about this. So pyramid layer the foundation elements leading to peak results. So that's why I like using shapes to present my models because a triangle you got 3 points. A pyramid it's like layers. At the top is the peak. Hexagon, you've got different contributions. That might be in case of like a hexagon might work really, really well for building out like an elite athlete where it's like, cool, they've got great fitness, they've got great strength, but their skill set's really bad. So that wouldn't complete the hexagon. Okay, so it might be the hexagon of the complete MMA fighter, something like that. Yeah, which is probably something I could do another day. So then you got themes and analogies, which is cool. So I just said, should each section have a metaphor tied to the gym? And I was like, yes. Level of detail. This was a great question, actually. Should this presentation lead more towards science-based explanations, practical gym advice, or motivational storytelling? So for me, I was like, somewhere in the middle has always hit really, really well when I'm presenting. So I said, I'll have a little bit of short science and I want it just to give me sections where I can go and then add insights on specific points. So, say for example, I might add in a case study on, maximum effective reps, or maybe something I am going to talk about peri-workout nutrition a little bit. So maybe little bits of details in terms of how glutamine, carbohydrates and stuff, but probably won't get caught up in it too much for now. And I want it to be 80% practical advice, so stuff they can take away. And then I want to use the last sort of 10% as storytelling to make it stick, because when people hear a story, they remember the story. When they remember the story, they're going to remember what you're talking about. Okay, so storytelling always works. Yep, target audience wanting to break through, so that was easy enough. Cool. Should no, I don't want to focus on the myths. I just want to present what they should do. Cool. So bang, let's go. Cool. I hit enter. This is probably going to come back with a pretty cool thing. I'll just put beautiful. So hit enter, and this is what it's come back with, man. So one of the ways, I guess, thought processes when I look at, using something like ChatGPT and AI is essentially ChatGPT is the author. I'm the editor, okay? So I come in and put the polish on. This is following the 10-80-10 rule. So for a start, we went in there with the 10% of like, all right, this is what we want in this presentation. ChatGPT goes away and does the 80%. Now it's got all of the information it needs to create a sick framework. 80% of the work. Now I go in and put the 10% of the polish on and make it exactly what I want. Okay. Once this can do Canva presentations, PowerPoints, keynotes, fucking incredible. Like I will probably create every single day of the week, maybe 2-3 times. But for now, that's what we're working with. So think of that 10-80-10 rule. The 10% was what we covered up here. So going into, all of the, using this prompt, then writing in all the details and stuff that we want in it. Then the 80% ChatGPT's done this. And then what I'll do is I'll tweak it. So let's see what I came up with, which is pretty cool. Here's a detailed framework for your YouTube presentation, the pyramid of natural gains. Okay, so pretty sick name for a start. I'll probably tweak that because I'll work on like the headline, the thumbnail, so that it's like probably going to get more interaction, but it's not too bad, to be honest. We could probably work with that. So cool. Opening, build your natural fitness. So start with a compelling story, introducing your journey from CrossFit to weightlifting, staying injury free. Set the tone. Preview the pyramid framework. So letting people know what they're here for, which is pretty sick. Section 1, so it goes into the training principles. So then it's told me this is what you're going to sort of work on. So even here, compound lifts are the cornerstones of your fortress. So right there, I'm like, fortress, cool, building something epic, making you unbreakable, all of that sort of thing. So in my mind, the metaphor has now given me a picture of what I'm talking about. Cool. So why compound lifts are king? So I'm gonna go and change this around a little bit more because like squats, deadlifts, presses, and rows for sure. Strong is strong. And like, a lot of people will talk about, isolation exercise machines is better for stability and stuff, but that neuromuscular pathways, the ability to for your body to use more motor units is always going to be improved by using full compound lifts. So that's where we will start with in this and just talk about a little bit on that. It's given me all of the things that I'm going to break down, which is pretty cool. Little bit about nutrition. So fueling the machine, your peri-workout nutrition is the engine oil for gains. So that's fucking sick. So it's like if you really want to master natural lifting or like getting jacked and strong as a natural lifter, your peri-workout nutrition is the engine oil for your gains. Okay, so it makes it pretty sick. Then we got a wee bit about recovery, stuff like that, mindset, consistency. So the architect's blueprint, building with intent. The mindset of the master craftsman ensures every brick is placed with purpose. So this is where I talked about, where most natural lifters get it wrong is they're doing the right things, just not in the right way. So it's like attack each set like it's your last. I'll probably change that a little bit because it's not 100% true, but it's like, attack at least one set to go like close to failure is what I'm going to talk about. Okay, so push technique, not just the weight. Not quite what I want to talk about. Like one of my, I guess, principles of training is you should push your technique as hard as you possibly can. So where most people go wrong, I believe in lifting is like they will shy away from technical breakdown, or they're like, oh, just only go till your technique is good. But what you should be trying to do is pushing your technique. So maintaining and keeping really, really good technique with a lot of focus and intent as hard as you possibly can so that you can push that technique as hard as you can and get close to like true failure with good technique rather than, creating some sort of imbalance or anything like that. So that's why that theory there, and it's going to be really cool to unpack. So as you can see, there's stuff in here. So story and case study, I might chop and change this a little bit, but what it's done is it's given me a lot. It's given me the guts of what I'm then going to go and create. So what I'm going to do now is I will then go and take this. I'm going to go and map it out on Canva so that I can create my presentation and my keynote. I'll probably go here. I now want you to give me a detailed explanation as if you were my creative media team designing the Canva presentation. Give me instructions on how each slide should look and anything you believe is important. Pretend I'm a complete noob when it comes to designing Canva. So give me plenty of instructions. Okay, so this will now bang out what slides I want, which is going to be pretty sick. So slide deck theme, Cool, so it's telling me everything I need. So now I've gone and now I have all the guts, the frameworks, everything I need to go and create sick presentations. Um, when you are creating or when you're working on presenting, creating media, generally, if you're going to create a 30-minute video, you need 30 minutes of preparation work. This helps prepare on a world class. So use that as you will. I hope it helps.